Lots of startups that we work with like to talk about simplicity. We like to talk about it too. But the reality is we oftentimes don't live by our own words and advice. And recently I was on the East Coast meeting with a prospect, and they came to me with a previously designed app that was essentially had failed, and they were looking to either rebuild it or do something entirely different. And I asked them specifically about their business, and I said, what is it that really makes you unique? And they were doing a form of consulting, and they told me exactly what made them unique. And I asked them what their app did that they'd previously designed, and they said, well, it does messaging, it does some, email and calendaring or whatever it was. It was trying to sort of do a lot of different features and functions to serve a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. And I said, well, is there anything unique that your app does that, Office 365 or G Suite or any of those things, Slack or whatever can't do on this device? And they said, well, we want to put it all in one place. And I said, well, okay, so are you going to be able to afford to do that well? Are you going to do it better than Microsoft does it or Google does it or whatever? And they said, well, no, we don't think so. And I said, okay, so how about focusing on something really unique that you do really well? If you could do one thing on your app and do it really well and make it something that nothing else on this phone can do, what would that be? 1905, good day, 2 structure.
Pass.
Flight Center afternoon, Lancer, Niner 2 Sierra X-ray 8500.
For Niner 2 Sierra X-ray, LA Center, Santa Maria altimeter 2995.
95 on the meter, 2 structure. So I said, what would that unique thing be? And they described a situation that involves some different parties and accountability and things like that using the app. And so I asked them, I said, if your app did that one thing and did it really well, could your users communicate with each other via standard email applications and other things that they already have? They said, well, yeah, we think they could. And so I suggested over lunch that they take it back to their leadership team and run through this idea of a very simple but very deep and well-built function that their users needed and they couldn't get on any other app anywhere else on this device, but it didn't try and replicate all the things that G Suite and Office 365 and Slack are already doing, calendaring and whatnot. And they said, okay, well, we'll think about it. We'll present it to our leadership team. So I got a call, about a week and a half ago or so from them, and they said, yeah, it went really well. We really like the idea, and we think we're going to focus in and do something that's a single function that's much deeper and much more focused and serves a unique need as opposed to trying to do all the messaging and calendaring and everything else. And I think that discussion is symptomatic or similar to, symptomatic of a sort of subconscious thing that we all believe, which is we sort of have to be all things to everybody, and it's just not true. And in fact, if we try, we're going to frankly suck at it. So I would encourage entrepreneurs and startups to really think about what is one or two unique things you can do when you're considering the scope of your initial app. You can always grow it. You can always integrate other software in there. You can add features down the road. But you need to get, whatever you do, you need to come out of the gates running strong, and you can't come out of the gates limping with a bunch of features that are sort of halfway built. So that's my recommendation. I'm glad to discuss. Feel free to shoot some comments in down there, and I'll try to get back to you. But that's definitely a lesson that I think all of us could learn and pay attention to.